Welcome to a new season of The Profile,
We are ready to go.
where your milestones will be x-rayed and revisited.
Yes.
Your experiences growing up, academics, social and community development landmarks, and challenges will be scanned. The Profile, where your leadership believe in both the private and public sector will be looked into without the optics of partisan politics. The all-new season of The Profile, exclusive to Search FM 92.3.
5 minutes to 11 a.m. and of course you're still locked on to the Dial of Champions 92.3 Search FM from the MBB House on the Gidankwano campus of the Federal University of Technology, Mina. And for those of you who are familiar with The Profile, you're welcome to the second season. We are kickstarting it with a bang this morning. We have a very interesting guest in the house today. In the person of Dr. Mohammed Badamasi Babangida. I'll just do a brief run through of your profile and then we'll go into the interaction proper. Dr. Babangida started out his education with a high school diploma in Eglon College in the early 1990s in Switzerland. From there, he proceeded to the European University where he obtained a Bachelor's of Arts degree in Business Administration. Following that, he got a Master's in Public Relations and Business Communication from the European University as well. And then he moved on to Harvard Business School and a host of other schools. He started his work career later on. We will be looking at all of that as we interact with Dr. Mohammed Badamasi Babangida. Good morning, Doctor, and you're welcome to The Profile.
Good morning. Thank you very much for having me on the show.
Yeah, so how was your trip here?
It was pleasant. Sorry for the delay. I got caught up in other things, but I made a commitment to be here, and thank God I've been able to meet up with that commitment.
Okay, so let's get right into it. Let's go back in time to your childhood. Can you tell us a bit about your childhood? What was the experience growing up, and what were your formative years like generally?
Okay, I was born in Kaduna, but then I grew up in Lagos, where Dad was obviously in the military at the time, and that was a very exciting moment for us because we had a lot of opportunities to get to understand the culture in Lagos. We had a lot of friends. Obviously, we were schooling there. And for me, that would be perhaps one of the most memorable moments of my formative years. So it was quite a very pleasant and wonderful experience for us at that time.
Okay, so let's move into education, school. Let's primary school. What primary school?
Primary school was in Lagos as well. It was the Nigerian Air Force Primary School in Victoria Island. Thereafter, we moved to Switzerland, where I did it's a preparatory school which just gets you ready for secondary school. Did that for 1 year and then spent about 7 years in secondary school because I had to do my A-levels. After my O-levels, I had to spend another 2 years. And then from there, I continued. I did my first degree, like you said, in business communications and public relations. Stayed in the same university, did a master's in business administration. Thereafter, I took quite a long break. I went back to school again about 15 years after that. Got a postgraduate diploma in management, and then I continued and went on to get another master's in business administration with specialization in leadership. And now I'm studying for my PhD, and I'm at the dissertation stage, so I've advanced quite rapidly.
Yeah, okay, that's really interesting to hear. Now, far back in the 90s when you were in school, there were a lot of, especially talking about African parents now, you'll be a lawyer, you'll be an engineer. So what made you pick the field that you chose?
Luckily, I didn't have all of that. Initially, we had a bit of it, which was about, okay, you're going to join the army. We want you to join the army. And then, fortunately enough for us, my dad said, nah, with the way things are going, he doesn't actually recommend that. So that's the only type of pressure I think I got in determining what kind of career that I should pursue as a kid. So the pressure wasn't that much. I just decided to do this based on, I guess, peer pressure and friends. I had a group of friends who said, no, we're going to do public relations. Some were saying, no, we're going to do business administration. So I just fell in line. I just followed the crowd, basically, at that time.
Well, that seems to have worked out quite well.
It did. Thank God for that.
Okay, so let's move to your work life now, your career. Now, you've worked in different industries, spanning from oil and gas to banking to security to trading. And now we can say primarily you're focused on education for the most part. So What has that experience been like, especially having to maneuver from one of these fields into another one? And sometimes I'm sure you had your hands in different pies at the same time. So how are you able to maneuver in these different fields over the course of your career?
I think I'm privileged to have the honor, basically, of having a diverse background in terms of work. I've been in the banking sector for about 15 years or thereabouts. I've run my own company. I'm into education now as a family business. So there's a lot of diversity that comes with my own experience, and I'm grateful for that. Now, some of the challenges, obviously, that you see is you need to get the structures in place. And in putting the structures in place, you need to get reliable people. And that also seems to be a major challenge these days, wherever you find yourself in terms of business. You have to depend a lot on the system and obviously a lot on the people. Getting good people these days is not easy. So for me, like in some of my companies in Abuja, I've been with the same people for the last 27 years. So I've been lucky in that regard. But once you're able to get that right, then I think things become much easier for you in business.
That sounds very insightful. Thank you so much. Now, talking about education, you have carried on your mother's legacy with Elamin International Schools. So how has that been?
In the beginning, it was quite tricky for me because I wasn't really sure what would happen after her demise. You know, she passed on, leaving the baton to me, and I wasn't sure whether this is something that I could actually cope with, you know. But indirectly, before she passed on, she always brought me into the fold. Anything that related to El Amin, she would say, "Oh, Mohammed, come over, let's do this." I was like, "Mom, but you're there. Why do you need me?" So unknown to me, she was having a succession plan in her mind, and that really helped in transitioning me into that role of the executive director of the schools. I became a bit more comfortable knowing that she surrounded herself with good people, and I was able to fit into that role. They embraced me, and then we continued to, you know, come up with a plan for what we feel should be the next phase of El Amin. And of course, on the side, you had all those who were doubting whether El Amin would survive post my mother's demise. And luckily now we have been around for 13 years since she passed on, and we've added so many other features in the El Amin education dynasty. We brought in the El Amin Day Secondary School, and now we just started the El Amin University. So you can see we not only made a commitment to sustain her legacy, but we've also gone beyond sustaining. We are now enhancing, we're now improving on that legacy as well.
So talking about El Amin University, the new El Amin University, you're about to put on a whole new different hat as Pro-Chancellor. So what are your expectations for that?
It's quite exciting for me, you know, knowing that I've been somehow in the industry for about 13 years. We've come with a whole gamut of experiences, you know, even though it's a university setting. But one thing that you can't remove from the fact is we are passionate about education, and we come into El Amin University with the same passion and with the same commitment to ensure that, you know, it not only survives us, it lives beyond us. So we need to put good structures in place, we need to have good people, and for me it's a challenge. And I embrace challenges, and I'm committed 100% to make sure it has the right footing.
Okay, so challenges. Generally in life, or especially in business, there are definitely going to be a lot of diverse challenges leveled through curveballs at you. How do you handle challenges generally? Do you have like a formula that you follow?
I don't have a formula, but I have ideas of how people should go about overcoming challenges. First and foremost, in the business setting, I feel you shouldn't venture into business that you're not knowledgeable about or passionate about. It's in such situations where you don't have the knowledge or you don't have the passion that when challenges come, you just give up. So passion for me is the key thing. Knowing more about the business is the secondary thing. Once you're able to establish that, then the mindset kicks in. Knowing that at no point in time should you give up, because at the end of the day, these challenges are bound to come, whether in business, in personal life, wherever you find yourself. Your ability to overcome that is what sets you apart from everybody else. But how prepared are you for that? So you have to go and seek the knowledge. You have to go and learn from other people. And if you do that, then I think you'd be better prepared to overcome these challenges. So these will be my tips for people who are about to venture into business, that they should be mindful. Do not follow the crowd. Do what works for you. Do what you are passionate about, and then have the strong character to overcome challenges, knowing that they definitely will come in any setting.
Okay, so what would you say your leadership style is?
My leadership style is very, I think, transformative. I'm a transformative type of leader where I work hand in hand with people, but I try and see and forecast what the future is on that business. I'm not the same type of person that would say, look, we're satisfied doing whatever we're doing. The world is evolving, things are changing, and we have to position ourselves in line with that. Otherwise, we get left behind. And if we do get left behind, we become non-competitive, we become irrelevant because everybody else is trying to adapt to the current situation.
You have a bit of a reputation as a philanthropist. More than a bit, actually. You have a reputation as a philanthropist. So can you give us a bit of a background? How did that start? And if we can link that to the Elamin Foundation, what inspired the beginning of the Elamin Foundation and what's going on exactly with that right now?
I think that started basically from the desire to want to help and obviously want to give back to the community. And we always move around and see people in a state that we feel we can help make them better. And some of this was born out of the interest that our mother had. She always had us around, even in our younger years, with her to see what she was doing and the kind of impact she was making. And that rubbed up on us, and we felt that, this is our time to also give back, and that's how we started. For us, we were doing it unofficially without a structure, and then we now decided to set up the Elamin Foundation, which basically helps in the area of education, and then it also helps in community development, such as putting down boreholes, such as helping in community-related issues of health. So health education were a key area for us, and we decided to put a good structure there, and thereby we formed the Elamin Foundation, and that's really the link more than anything else.
Okay, now let's step into some tricky territory. Without naming any partisan body, have you ever been involved in organized politics?
I've been on the periphery, so to speak. I've never been really active, but I've always been on the sideline taking interest in politics, primarily because this is something that everybody is involved in one way or the other. You have a member, a friend, or family member that is into it, so indirectly you get drawn into it. So yes, I have on the periphery.
But personally, is there a chance that in the future, I mean, right now, you have a wealth of experience that you can bring to bear to help in a lot of spaces. So
I think politics is evolving in Nigeria, and for us, we've looked at it and felt, okay, at a certain point we would have no choice but to get involved in politics, but we're not sure when that time is. But we know one thing for sure is the time is not now. Maybe in the future we would still participate actively as a family in politics after obviously Dad's participation.
Okay, so let's talk sports. Polo. I saw some really great pictures of you playing. Do you still play actively?
Yes, I'm still active. We just finished a tournament in Kaduna about 4 weeks ago, and we have another one coming up in Kefi, and it goes around the calendar like that. So in the calendar year of polo, I play maybe about 4 to 5 tournaments.
Okay, but how about any other sports?
Yes, well, in my younger years, I was quite active in basketball. I still play a lot of tennis. Right now, we do, unprofessional in terms of playing with the kids in the secondary school. But I'm currently engaged more in tennis and more in polo right now.
So you're obviously a very busy person. What do you do to relax?
Relaxation for me is just basically unwinding with family and the kids. I just sit and watch them, do whatever they normally do, watching the cartoons or doing their homework or just being around them. That gives me a lot of joy and it helps me to relax. So I spend a lot of time with family.
If you had the opportunity to start your life over, say go back to when you were 18, 20, is there anything you do different? Is there any piece of advice that you'd give to yourself as a younger man?
Well, I think I would appreciate knowing more about the challenges of life from an earlier stage. So that would have helped me perhaps avoid some of the mistakes that I got myself into if I had known much better. So the point would be knowledge about life, about people, about the journey of life. If I got more mentorship or more guidance, definitely I would not make some of the missteps that I made.
So bringing that to bear, how would you advise a young person who's just about to start their life?
First of all, you have to slow down. I think everybody is in a rush. Everybody wants to either make it big, or everybody wants to make a difference, or everybody wants to make an impact, or everybody's just, oh, I want to get married tomorrow, I want to do this, I want to get money quick. No, I think you should slow down first of all and take everything in. If you have the patience to slow down and also get people who have been on that journey that you intend to embark upon and are trusted, they should be able to share their life journey or that journey with you, and that perhaps would help you avoid some of the mistakes that are inevitable. But having a mentor would definitely do you a lot of good.
Okay, and now you've also achieved quite a lot in your life. Now, if you're asked to pick one achievement that is most special to you, that you hold most dear, what would you say your biggest or most significant achievement is personally?
I think all achievements, like you've highlighted, are important and significant to me, but most importantly would be the achievement of sustaining the El Amin dynasty of schools. And this is primarily because I made a promise to my mother. She was on her sickbed and she said to me, Mohammed, I need you to make a commitment to me. And I said, what is it? I'll do whatever you want. And she said, well, 3 things. But on this show, I'd only mention one that is relevant. She said, you need to keep a very close eye on my school. And I said, Mom, no problem. I am committed to this and I'll do whatever it takes to ensure that it does not collapse. Because she tells us the story of family businesses. Once the promoter or the main family person is no more, usually the business collapses. And I said to her, definitely not in my time. I will never see that happen. And I made that commitment. And today, 13 years down the road, we're still here. So this will be my greatest achievement, I think.
Thank you so much, Doctor. I'd like to say on behalf of the entire Search Media family, like I said, we spoke about this off air, the fact that this is the first time after the launch that you've been here, and this is also the first time they are going on air here. So I'd like to say a very big thank you once again for the MBB House and all your contributions to the Search Media.
It's a pleasure, and I'm very proud of what you're doing here. I think it's made a very big impact in the environment, and I hope and pray that you guys continue to grow from strength to strength. And I wish you all the very best. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Doctor. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah, there you have it. That was the profile with Dr. Mohammed Badamasi Babangida, the Executive Director of El Amin Group of Schools and the Pro-Chancellor of the new El Amin University. It was great to have this interaction with him on the Dial of Champions. Like I mentioned earlier, if you or you know someone who should be on the profile, who we could learn from their wealth of experience, just send an SMS to 0806 655 6359 with the details, and we'll reach out to cement future plans. So until next time, my name is Odaba Koji. Enjoy the rest of your day. Have a great weekend. And for now, it's goodbye.
Subscribe to Search TV on YouTube. Search for Search TV and click the subscribe button.